Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be making red velvet ice cream sandwiches and a strawberry and vanilla quick fudge for Valentine's Day. Two of the ingredients for the red velvet cookies were a little bit hard for me to find, so I'm going to leave some links in the description below so you guys don't have to do all the running around that I did, along with the recipes as well. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Now let's get started! So I'm going to attempt to make an ice cream for these sandwiches, but I'm not too sure how it's going to work because this doesn't call for like rock salt or anything, and I thought that was how you had to make ice cream, but it just says to put a package of this mix, which I found this at the Amish store. I don't know if you guys have those where you're from, but you can always order it online. You just need 1 1/4 cup of whole milk and 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna add like half a teaspoon of vanilla to my ice cream just because I don't like it so plain. But I'm a little questionable about the sugar because I feel like you should be having sugar in ice cream, but I can always add it to it later maybe. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it just says to stir this packet in until it's dissolved. That's what the package looks like. Scissors. I'm making a mess like always. It actually smells really sweet. Maybe I won't need sugar at all. It's like a little less than half a teaspoon I put in there. And it just says to mix until it's dissolved and then put it into a pan to freeze it. And then once it gets firm, take it out and like beat it with mixers, I guess. And then put it in and freeze it again. So I think I have it pretty much all dissolved now, and I have already lined my pan with parchment paper just so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And the idea is that I can just lift this piece out and have it all in like a brick, and then I can cut it out into the shapes I need for the sandwich cookies. That's with the idea in mind that it actually sets up. Well, I don't think that was combined enough. So I combined it a little bit better in the pan, I think, hopefully. I'm gonna set it in the freezer for a couple hours until it firms up and then take it out again to mix it. So it's been in the freezer for about 4 hours and I just chunked it up, and it just says to beat it or whip it again and then put it into another pan. So I have a bread pan already lined with parchment paper ready, and this may be too hard yet, but we'll see how it goes. So that did actually turn out a lot better than I thought it would. I'm just going to transfer that into my bread pan, into the thickness that I want for those cookies, and then put it back in the freezer. Alright, I've spread that out pretty evenly, and then I'm going to freeze that, and then I'll just place my cookie cutters into it to cut out for the sandwiches. Okay, to make the red velvet cookies, we're going to start with a cup of butter and 2 cups of confection sugar, and we're just going to cream those together. That's as good as I'm gonna get it. My butter wasn't as totally soft as it should have been, but now I'm going to add the egg, just 1 egg, and then a tablespoon of the red velvet emulsion, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I got this extract at Michael's because I couldn't find it anywhere around me. Some of these things are like kind of hard to get, depending on like the area that you're from. Now we're just gonna add 2 tablespoons out of the 3 of the milk, saving the last just in case the dough is a little dry at the end. So next I'm going to sift together the half a cup of cocoa powder, 1/4 cup of buttermilk powder, which I got this at Walmart. Some people say they have trouble finding it, so you may need to order that. And then also the 3 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and the 2 teaspoons of baking powder and the half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, so I unfortunately didn't hit record. This is what it looks like whenever it's finished. I incorporated in all the dry ingredients in with the wet. I didn't use the extra tablespoon of milk, and then I added in the apple cider vinegar at the end whenever the dough was just about to start forming. And then I unfortunately broke my spatula as well. That didn't fare so well, and I just mixed it with my hands. I'm gonna let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna roll them out into our heart shapes. They say to roll it out into 1/4 of an inch thickness and then dust it with flour, so I'm gonna get that around while I wait for this to set. Okay, so now I'm just going to roll this out until it's 1/4 inch and then cut it out, or cut out my shapes in these 2 hearts and put them in the oven. My oven's already preheated at 400 degrees for 6 to 7 minutes. So we've got them all out of the oven. Zeus thinks they smell pretty good, but he can't have any because there's chocolate in them. I'm going to wait for these to cool down a little bit before we put the ice cream in between them. The ice cream loaf came out pretty good. It's still pretty frozen. I left it sit out for a couple minutes so I could peel the parchment off. But I'm just going to take the cutter into the shape I want, and I did buy more ice cream. I think I'm just going to press down a little bit and then cut it out with a butter knife. And hopefully I can make it into a similar shape. And then maybe just spread the other ones with ice cream. I've never made these before. I don't even think I've had an ice cream sandwich before. So this fudge recipe is actually really simple. I found it on Facebook. All you need is 3 cups of white chocolate chips, a can of sweetened condensed milk, a pinch of salt, red food coloring, vanilla extract, and then I'm adding strawberry extract in the other half of mine, and then like Valentine's Day sprinkles. So you're going to split your chocolate into 2 different bowls. So I have 1.5 cups here, and I'm going to add half of this condensed milk to it, and then we're going to microwave it for 20 seconds at a time, stirring in between. I have that all melted, so I'm going to add in a little bit of red food coloring, which I only have gel, but I'm sure either would work just fine. And then I'm going to add in a half a teaspoon of the strawberry extract. Zeus is coming to supervise. Love for puppies. The recipe says to do them in layers, but I think I'm just going to mix mine together and create like a little swirl. So I'm just going to set this to the side and then get started on the other batch. Okay, I have this one ready, and we're just going to leave this one plain white, and then we're going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then we'll be good. Oh, I forgot about the salt as well, so we'll just add the vanilla extract and the salt. Alright, now that we have them both prepared, we're just going to place them into our baking sheet that already has parchment paper inside. And it says to use an 8-inch square pan, but this is the best that I can do. So we're just going to work with that. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my knife and try to swirl the two layers together and try to make it a little bit more even. And then the best part has to be the sprinkles. I actually dumped most of these all over whenever I was trying to open them, so hopefully I can avoid that again. And there is the Valentine's Day fudge. This just has to set in the fridge for 2 hours and then we can give it a taste test. So I have my fudge cut up into little squares. Everything turned out great. The fudge is a little too sweet for me, but I'm more impressed with how the ice cream sandwiches turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and remember to love yourself as well this Valentine's Day. Bye!